Hey, hey, Judy.
Good morning, Lisa. It's good to see you.
You too. And
Thanks.
I think you've worn that sweater before. That is a very good color on you. I like that.
Thank you. This was a present from Michelle.
You look very snuggly. I'm taking off my vest. I wear that vest like every single day of my life. So
Well, I was thinking about it when I put it on. I thought, ooh, I hope I haven't worn this like just the last one. I try to be different every 4 or 5, but my favorites are going to reappear.
exactly.
And
And
this is
right
one of
now
them.
it is a cold, blustery day outside. So
Yeah,
it's
I
a
was
perfect
busy
day to wear a
outside.
snuggle like that.
I was getting people's garbage cans that were in the middle of the road and taking them up and putting them by their houses because I didn't want them
Because
to get
that's
hit
what's
by a
happening in our
car.
neck of the woods. I
Yeah.
hear you. Okay. So, getting into our topic today, Judy, we are
Yes.
talking about openness. And we are going to veer a little bit off the road in terms of talking about overcoming writer's block.
So
We
what
are
else is
going to
new?
be. So, you and I are Sidetrack sisters. And, the nature of Sidetrack sisters, I believe it was, oh, I want to say it was some famous speaker. They were talking about how you have to find your passion and live your purpose. And a person came up to her after her speech and said, I was really excited about your talk, but it made me feel bad because I don't have a passion and I don't have a purpose. I've never been able to find one. And she went back to her hotel room and decided that, she's really doing a disservice to so many people like us who are sidetracked, who are more like hummingbirds, who, take a little bit here, take a little bit there, take a little bit. We like to do a lot of things. We have a lot of interests. We have a lot of passions, a lot of things that we like to pursue and dabble in. And
Hmm.
that all feeds into who we are as interesting people.
Hmm.
And one of our interests is, of course, writing,
Hmm.
but it's not our only interest. And so, with our topic today of being open, we want to let our listeners know that we are planning on changing this podcast up again.
I can't wait. They're always
Yeah.
fun when
So,
we change.
so our this is the second iteration right now of our podcast.
Hmm.
Our first iteration was called Sidetracked Legacies.
Hmm.
And in Sidetrack Legacies, we highlighted each of the four of us four
Hmm.
times a week.
Hmm.
And we talked about our writing and where we were coming from and how we came up with the idea. And we read our writing, the writing that we showcased on our blog.
Hmm.
And that was it. And then was like, I think there's more out there than just us. We
Hmm.
should like start interviewing other people who are writing about their lives. And that's where we got the idea to start interviewing people who were doing memoir because
Hmm.
those people are kind of easy to find. There are lots of memoir writers groups out there, especially like on Facebook. And so I
And they've
started,
often written books and stuff too, and so we can find them that way.
exactly. Yeah. And so those people were fascinating. And so then we were like, okay, how can we get more people to do this writing? And one of the thoughts that we had was we needed to change the name of our podcast.
Hmm.
We felt that changing it to Overcoming Writer's Block was one way for people to find us. And then we continued to talk. You and I continued to talk with one another.
Hmm.
Not so much my sister Michelle or your sister Sandy,
Hmm.
and we continued to help people explore their writing blocks. And we
Hmm.
continued to give people encouragement and wisdom of how to get over those writing blocks. And we also
Exactly.
continued to interview writers, more
Right.
specifically just writers. We didn't, before we had done some visual artists, some entrepreneurs, some storytellers, more of a variety of people. And you and I are feeling a little bit confined.
Yes, I think we're feeling like we're too narrow, and not everyone is going to sit down and write their story or their
Mhm.
memoir or whatever.
Yeah.
However, they may have a different passion or a different dream or a different opportunity that they'd like to explore.
Yes.
And we really back that up. We condone that and think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've felt that need to help people with that self-growth and see where it takes you, see where it takes us. It's kind of a journey that we're on that we want to bring people along on. Part of
Right.
that is our writing. Part of that
Yes.
is blogging. Part of that is podcasting. But that's not all of it. You know, you and I really, our personalities enjoy sharing with people what we're currently exploring, telling about our journey, and bringing people along with us and to
Correct.
explore at the same time.
Yeah.
For good or bad, that's kind of how we operate.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to share more. We want to do more. We want to expand our horizons. So that's why right now we're looking at the year 2024 coming up and
Yes.
going, okay, you know, let's change it up again.
Let's expand a little bit. And I have this dream that I would love to have people out there who are listening perhaps contact us through one of our links and say, I'm in the process of doing just what you gals are talking about, and perhaps they would be a good person to talk with on our podcast.
Hmm, hmm.
Because this isn't just about writing. I mean, Michelle and Sandy were never writers. They have developed such skill in it. And
Uh-huh.
I see that they get better every time we write. It's just so fun to watch their growth. But they made that commitment because of we pushed them into it.
Yeah, and mom, Sandy, your sister, is really more of a multimedia artist. She
Yes.
likes decorating and putting things together, silk flowers and rusty old pots, and that's really what turns her on. And
Refinishing
Michelle,
furniture.
yes, and Michelle is an organizational guru. She
Hmm.
loves organizing and making planners and organizing cupboards and labeling things.
Yeah, she looks at my office and she has 100 ideas for what she'd do with this mess. And it's like, I love her ideas. I haven't done a lot of them, but yeah,
So,
she's,
you know, talking about these things because we are sidetracked,
hmm
we recognize that we want to talk about more than writing. We want to talk to people who had maybe had some blocks and said, here is how I got past my block to pursue my dream, to pursue my interest, to pursue
hmm
my goal.
hmm
And this is what it looks like now.
Well,
To
I
be
know we were talking about it
in with
before we
people.
came on the podcast, and one of the things we said is people often plan a really nice vacation, but they
Yes.
don't plan their life. And if you don't plan your life, life will plan you. And it takes away your ability. I think we think we'll live forever. And I'm becoming very aware of my vulnerability and the fact that, I mean, I'm 74 years old. The
Hmm.
average lifespan for a woman in America is 76. So I need
Really?
to rush. Yeah,
Really?
I
It's 76? I thought it was in like
76.
81
It's
or something.
changed. It's now 76 for both males and females. That's a insurance actuarial indicator, and that's been updated in the last couple of years.
Has it
So,
gone down?
yeah. hmm And a
Mm.
lot of it is stress. A lot of it is just circumstances, the economy, the lack of coherence in the government. There's a lot of reasons. And then there's people that just doesn't matter, but for many reasons that has gone
Okay.
down. So,
Well, whether you're 50, tomorrow is my birthday.
ooh, is that tomorrow? The big 50? Am I being funny? No, it's more than the big 50. You're 50 something. Let's see, 64, 36. I got to do the math. 36 and 23. You will be 59 tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going to be
Woo!
59.
I just took 9
That took
years
you
off your
longer than I
life.
expected, Judy.
Huh? Took me
That took
longer,
you
yeah.
longer than I expected.
I used to be a
Yes.
banker. We always use calculators. What can I
So,
tell you?
getting back to what I was going to say, whether you are 59 or 74, you know, we're not done yet.
No,
We've
never
talked
done.
to, I mean, personally, I've talked to so many people that are just like, yeah, you know, I just want to be healthy and happy and just chill.
I've worked hard all my life. Now it's time to just kick back. But what does that mean? What would you like to do when you're kicking back? Become an expert TV watcher, or, in some play, take care of my grandkids. I've heard that many times. Um, and at the same time, there is something more for you personally that's available if you go for it.
Yes. So we were talking once again before this podcast started about what a goal or a dream or a passion might be. And we were talking how that could be something tangible, like paying off your mortgage, paying off a debt, building a new business, starting a second career, taking up an instrument. It could also be something like becoming more patient, finding a new relationship. It could be so many different things. But unless you decide what that thing is, guess what? Chances are it's not going to happen. And
if
so
you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there. But you'll get someplace else, and you may not like it there.
No. So at our age, and at the age of the people that we're talking to, we're not done yet. We don't want to be done yet. And I want to talk to those people, the people who also believe, I'm not done yet. I don't want to be done yet.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, because I do have a feeling, and I do, to be honest, I do feel like, oh, I've got all the time in the world left. I have no sense of urgency. But you know what? I think I need a little bit of a sense of urgency to get the things done that I would like to do. And those don't have to be a new career. They don't have to be any of those. It could be you and I learning to play those ukuleles we have together. It could be just a really fun thing. It could be having a makeover. It could be, working on your body shape. It could be all kinds of things.
What you just said a second ago, I think is so pivotal. A sense of urgency. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and the person who was talking is a very well-known inspirational speaker, and they had a death experience and a diagnosis of a very deadly form of cancer at two different times in their life. And each of those times caused them to reevaluate, to study, to research, and then commit to a particular practice. And I thought to myself, is that what it takes to really have the life of my dreams, to motivate me to do what I want, what I feel called to do? And it's like, I hope not.
I hear you. It seems like comfort is the blocker of achievement. When somebody is comfortable, they don't have that urge, that drive. They don't have any sense of a reason that I have to do it now. I've got plenty of time. I can always do that. I'll do it tomorrow. And it's a form of procrastination, but it's even worse than that. It's
insidious.
Putting off life. And I think it's comfort is the enemy of achievement. And that's a pretty strong word, even for me, but I think it's real.
I think it is too. Now, I think, I mean, a diagnosis or a devastating event can be devastating and can be the end,
You got it.
But it can also lead to significant change. And
Yes.
so I'm hoping that by the two of us talking, by this podcast, by coaching, by continual exploration and sharing, that will cause motivation to blossom and energize us to do exactly that, to decide on what our goals and dreams and purpose is, and then incrementally move toward that on a daily basis.
Well, and you've learned this, I'm sure, but when I was a corporate trainer, I found myself training a classroom, and in my head, I was training myself again and again and again. And as I
You're a
taught
little
and
soft, Judy. Can you move your
oh,
microphone?
I can. Is that better?
Yes.
As I was training other people, I was
Mm-hmm.
training myself again, and I was hearing the truth again. And it made it more apparent to me that I needed to do the things I was encouraging other people to do. So,
Yes.
in a
Yes.
way, our podcasts are pretty self-satisfying, because when we have these conversations, I mean, just the research we do to do the podcast, I find
Mhm.
valuable
Yep. Yep.
doing what we're suggesting people out there might do. Now, do they have to do it? No.
No.
But I've always believed in my own heart of hearts that I do not want to leave this earth with regrets.
Right.
I really want to know that
Mhm.
I have satisfied some of my wishes and desires to be a little more than I was yesterday.
Mm.
And I can remember you led a study group of our family on life's purpose, and it was more of a religious bent. And I'm trying to think, I can't think of the guy's
It
name
was The
that wrote
Purpose-Driven Life by Rick
Purpose
Warren.
Driven Life. Yes. And there were so many good pieces of
Yeah.
learning in that series.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't appeal to everybody. And
Mhm.
no podcast, no matter how wise we are, no matter how perfect we are, no matter how inspirational we are, is ever going to appeal to everyone out there.
Mhm.
We know that. But
Mhm.
what we want to do is we want to find our tribe that has some of the same needs that we have and work with us.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm going to add share with us. I want to know, what are you working on out there? What are you wanting to accomplish? How can we encourage you and support you and help you to see that you're steps away? You're 3 feet
Mhm.
away from the vein of gold. And as a miner, you don't want to stop there. Right?
Exactly. Or else, how about an alive human being?
Yeah,
So,
I think so.
yeah, I mean, we have no idea what we're going to call the next iteration of this podcast, but it'll be found in the same place. Just like when it changed from Sidetrack Legacies to Overcoming Writer's Block, you didn't need to go anywhere else.
Still us.
Yeah, still us. This new iteration starting in January will be still us, or still me and interviewing somebody interesting. But we want to open it up a little bit more. We want to explore more things. We were talking
Yes.
about even talking about some of the books that have inspired us and
Yes.
how fun that would be. Whether or not we can get some big names on here isn't really the important part. What we want to do is we want to share with people the things that have or currently are influencing us
Yes.
in moving us in the direction we want to go.
That's exactly said perfectly. I agree. And just keep looking for us. We're out there, and please join us. I think that's the big thing. It's like, this isn't about Lisa and I doing
Mm-hmm.
this just for us. It's
Right.
really more about us looking forward to incorporating this into a
A
community
community. Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
like-minded people who have these same feelings of, I'm not done yet, I'm not finished yet, I have more I want to do. And it doesn't mean they have to be huge. You know, I've always wanted to do a better job of riding horseback, and I would love to do that. The last time I went horseback riding up in Door County, I had such a good time, and my horse was so good to me. And as I was coming back, I said to the guide, "That was such a nice ride. That horse was just elegant." And she said, "You were very nice to that horse as well." And
Hmm.
I felt
Aw.
so complimented. It was like I played a part in that. And just that little thing. Here I am getting
Yeah.
sidetracked
Yeah.
again, but it was a small achievement of a bigger goal, and one step at a time. That's all you can do. So, anyway,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't I have no idea what relevance that had, but I'm hoping it wasn't too out of the scheme of things. Why are 70-year-old women thinking about horseback riding? I don't know. It's just where the head goes sometimes. So,
So really what we're looking at here, Judy, is we want to be open with our audience. We
yes.
want you, the audience, to know that we are exploring the next direction for this podcast. We want to have a new name and an expanded direction in January of 2024. We want to really focus on self-development, whatever that looks like for you. For us, it has to do with writing and implementing different practices in our life to help support our desire to move forward in our goals. That makes sense?
And we would even be open to having a small group, that would get together regularly by Zoom, so you
Yeah.
wouldn't have to live in the area. And I have to say, for me personally, I have been a participant in Lisa's coaching, and she has her creative juices flowing all the time, and she has been so helpful to me and to other people that I know that she's done coaching with. So if you're just like, I feel dissatisfied, but I have no idea what I want to do, contact Lisa and set something up. That might be a
Yeah.
really good opportunity for you to, sometimes all it takes is someone asking you the right questions.
I'm a good question asker, and a good listener. And that is a powerful combination.
Yes, it is. It's not found all that often in the world. Usually you're getting interrupted like you and I interrupt each other all the time. I apologize for that, but I read somewhere that it's a sign of intelligence. I think I wanted to believe that.
I'll agree with that. Yes, I think it is a very sign of very high and deep intelligence.
Way up there. Yep.
Cool. So is there anything else we need to say about that? So Judy, what it boils down to is we are kind of leaving today's episode hanging because we're just kind of being open and letting people know that we're in a time of transition, and that can be uncomfortable, but it's also very exciting because, we continue to move forward, and that's the important part because
We've
we
learned
really,
when we step out of our comfort zone, good things happen.
yeah, it's easy to stay in the rut. It's easy to stay and, but by just changing a little bit, sometimes that's all it takes to really go in the direction of your dreams and to have exciting things happen.
Exactly. That's our favorite word today. Exactly. So
I've heard other people say 100%.
100%. That's a new one. Good. I like it. Something to add.
Cool. Okay. Well, with that, Judy, I look forward to talking to you next week, and maybe we'll have some exciting information to share with our audience about what we're gonna be called, and maybe some tidbits that we'll have brainstormed between now and then about some of our next upcoming episodes and some other things that we have up our sleeve.
I think that's great. And we also are very willing to continue to do the legacy writing with you if that is an interest of yours. We're not saying that chapter is closed.
No, in no way, shape, or form. No.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Hey, if I don't talk to you, and I will, everybody out there have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Or happy holidays. We like to be inclusive.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever holiday you practice or you celebrate at this time of the year, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff to you.
All the good
That's
stuff.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you, Judy. We'll talk to you later.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.